Welcome to our deep dive today, and we are diving into the world of Zara.
Zara.
I mean, what a fascinating story of a brand, right?
Yeah.
How this Spanish brand went from, a small family business to just like a global fashion powerhouse.
Yeah.
And, they're particularly influential among Gen Z shoppers.
Yeah, they really are. I think it's a really compelling story of innovation and adaptation.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at a bunch of things today about their business model,
Okay.
how they've leveraged, data and technology and the challenges that they face in this, rapidly changing industry.
Yeah, for sure. And we've got a ton of sources on this.
Yeah.
Like, we went deep on this one. So
We did.
we've got articles, we've got research, like the whole 9 yards here.
It's going to be a good one.
So let's just start at the very beginning,
Yeah.
right? With the very basics.
Okay.
Zara's origins.
Yeah.
They started in 1975.
Yeah.
In A Coruña, Spain.
That's right.
Did you know that?
I did.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, that's right. In A Coruña, Spain, with the founder, Amancio Ortega. Yeah.
And he started with a very small shop
Okay.
selling affordable versions of high fashion designs. And this was
So like knockoffs.
kind of like knockoffs, but more inspired by, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
And it was a really revolutionary concept at the time because you're democratizing fashion in a way,
Yeah.
making it accessible to everyone.
That's so interesting because it's like this whole idea of fast fashion and how you can, be on trend, but it's affordable. That's really all kind of started there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that really did take off like wildfire.
Yeah.
By the 80s, Zara was expanding rapidly throughout Spain and perfecting this idea of what they called instant fashion.
So they came up with that term.
They did.
Instant fashion.
Uh-huh. And this was way before, fast fashion became a more common term, but this is really where it started.
Okay, so what made them different from all of the other clothing retailers that were out there at that time?
So one of the key factors that we found is that they had a no designer model.
No designers.
Yeah.
So like no big names attached to it.
Right. And instead of relying on those big name designers, they built this massive in-house team
Okay.
of over 300 designers
Wow.
who were constantly monitoring trends.
300 designers in-house.
That's a lot of designers.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, from street style to high fashion runways, they're getting inspiration from everywhere.
So they're not like the traditional fashion houses
Right.
that are like predicting trends like months in advance.
Right. They're not forecasting trends.
They're reacting to what's happening right now.
Exactly. And that's where their legendary speed comes in.
That's crazy.
Zara can take a design from concept to store shelves in as little as 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I'm like, I can't even get something delivered from Amazon in 2 weeks.
I know.
That is so fast.
It's incredibly fast.
Wow.
And it's mind-bogglingly fast compared to the industry average,
What's the industry average?
which is several.
Months?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
So they really have turned the fashion world into like this real-time response system.
Exactly.
It's wild.
And one of the articles even called them a hype machine disguised as a clothing retailer.
A hype machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, they're just constantly churning out these new trends
Yeah.
that are, very, very current and relevant.
And the speed,
Hmm.
is this like a direct result of them being vertically integrated?
Yes, their business model is
Ah.
vertically integrated, and that means
And for anyone who doesn't know what that means, like, can you explain that a little bit?
yeah, so unlike most brands that outsource manufacturing,
Mm.
Zara owns a significant portion of its factories,
Okay.
and they're mostly in Spain, Portugal, and Turkey.
So they control the entire process from
Yeah.
like design to production.
Yes, design, production, and distribution.
That's insane.
It is.
That's amazing.
And that control allows them to react to these trends so quickly
Yeah.
to produce the clothes in small batches and get them into the stores while the demand is still really hot.
So they're not overproducing.
Right. And if something doesn't sell, they just pull it back.
Smart.
No harm done.
It's almost like they're applying those principles from like tech startups
Mm-hmm.
of like being agile
Yes.
to the fashion world.
You could say that.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're not just fast.
Yeah.
They're very data driven.
No.
So Zara uses real-time sales, data, social media trends.
Wait, so they're looking on social media to see what people are wearing?
Yes.
That's so smart.
And even customer feedback to inform their designs and production decisions.
So how does that actually work? Like, how are they using data
Yeah.
to design clothes?
It's really interesting. So it's
Yeah.
not like they have these algorithms, they're spitting out dresses.
Okay.
It's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
But they have these design teams that are constantly analyzing data on what's selling,
Okay.
what colors are trending, what styles influencers are wearing, and they're using that information to create designs that they know have a high probability of resonating with their target audience.
So they're basically eliminating the guesswork.
Yeah, they're taking out some of the guesswork for sure.
Wow. So data really is king.
Yes,
Even in the fashion world.
it really is.
Okay. So speaking of a target audience,
Yeah.
that target audience is largely Gen Z, right?
Yes.
What is it about Zara that appeals so strongly to this generation?
Well, we found a lot of information about this in our research.
Yeah.
And we think a big part of it is this concept of affordable luxury.
Affordable luxury.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Gen Z wants to look stylish and sophisticated, but they're also very budget conscious.
Right.
So Zara gives them that high-end aesthetic
Without,
without the designer price tag.
I mean, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
They've really tapped into that sweet spot in the market.
Absolutely.
You know, it's aspirational, but it's also accessible.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've been doing the quiet luxury thing too.
Yes.
Right.
The quiet luxury.
Like I've noticed that.
Yeah, their designs have become increasingly minimalist in recent years.
Yeah.
You see a lot of clean lines, neutral colors, high-quality fabrics.
Yeah.
It's all about that understated elegance that whispers expensive without screaming it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Whispers expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just the clothes.
Right.
Their branding is minimalist too.
Exactly.
You never see like big logos plastered all over their stuff.
Right. You don't see the big Zara plastered across everything.
Which I think actually adds to the whole luxury perception.
It does. It creates a sense of exclusivity without being overtly flashy. So
Yeah.
you have to know, you know?
Right. You have to be in the know
You have to be in the know.
to recognize Zara's quality
Right.
and style.
And speaking of being in the know,
Yes.
Zara has been incredibly successful at leveraging social media.
Yeah.
Especially TikTok.
TikTok. I feel like that's where I see Zara the most.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, they've practically mastered organic influencer marketing.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about all those Zara haul videos that you see
Oh, yeah.
where people are showing off their latest finds.
Yes.
It's free advertising for them,
Fine.
and it works like a charm.
So smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole look expensive for less trend,
Oh, yeah.
where people are demonstrating how to create these really stylish outfits using Zara pieces.
Like a free fashion masterclass
Exactly.
for Gen Z.
On TikTok.
I love it.
So Zara understands that this generation is highly influenced by their peers and by social media trends.
Yeah.
And they've created this brand that is perfectly positioned to go viral. And they've done it without having to spend millions of dollars on traditional advertising.
So it's like this brilliant combination of speed,
Yes.
data,
Okay.
and really understanding the psychology of their target audience.
Yes, very much so.
It's pretty impressive.
It is.
But I do want to say, you know, this success hasn't come without its critics, especially when it comes to, you know, sustainability.
Yeah,
The fast fashion industry has come under intense scrutiny for its environmental impact.
that's right.
And Zara is often at the center of that debate,
Uh-huh.
but they have made some efforts to address those concerns, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like they've introduced their Join Life collection.
Yes. Join Life.
And, you know, we talk about promoting more sustainable practices.
Right.
So tell me about Join Life.
So Join Life is Zara's attempt to try to cater to this growing demand for eco-conscious fashion.
Yeah.
So they're using more sustainable materials in this collection, like organic cotton and recycled polyester.
Okay.
And they've set targets for reducing their carbon footprint.
So are they actually doing enough?
That's the big question.
Right.
You know, a lot of people are saying that these initiatives are really just clever marketing
Okay.
to appease concerned consumers.
So is it greenwashing or are they really committed to sustainability?
Yeah, that's a really complex issue.
It is a complex issue.
And I think it's something that we should definitely delve into more deeply in the next part of our deep dive.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
But for now, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the competition that Zara is facing.
Okay.
Because they've got this formidable rival,
Yes, they
Shein,
Shein.
which is a Chinese brand.
Yeah.
And they're taking ultra-fast fashion to a whole new level.
Yes, they are.
Like even faster than Zara.
Faster and cheaper.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how is Zara competing with that?
Well, Shein is a fascinating case study in itself.
Okay.
I mean, they've managed to undercut Zara on both speed and price.
Okay.
And they're churning out thousands of new designs every single day.
Every single day.
Yeah,
Wow.
at ridiculously low cost.
Okay, so it's putting the pressure on Zara
It is.
to innovate and stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
And it's not just Shein
Yeah.
that they're facing competition from.
Uh-huh.
The global economy has been pretty turbulent lately, right?
Yes, very much so.
Like, we've seen inflation hitting consumers' wallets really hard.
Yeah.
So how is Zara navigating these economic challenges?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've had to raise prices like most retailers.
Right.
Which, nobody really likes that.
No, but they've got to do what they got to do.
Right. But they're also making some strategic moves to stay competitive.
Okay, like what?
So, for example, they're investing in nearshoring.
Nearshoring.
Yeah, which basically means they're moving some of their production closer to their main markets in Europe.
So instead of producing, like you said, in Spain, in Portugal, and Turkey, maybe they're going to produce in, like, France or,
Potentially.
Germany or somewhere closer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And that reduces shipping costs and lead times.
Yeah.
Which is so crucial in this, volatile economic climate.
So it's all about being flexible
Yes,
and agile and adaptable.
absolutely.
And I feel like those are the key themes that we've seen throughout our deep dive on Zara so far. I mean, we've really seen how they built this fashion empire on speed data and a really deep understanding of what Gen Z desires.
Yes, and I think as we move forward, it'll be really interesting to see how they address some of those challenges that we've talked about.
Yeah, for sure.
Like from competitors like Shein, from those concerns about sustainability, and from this, very unpredictable global economy.
Right, because, we touched on some of those challenges today.
Yes.
But I think in the next part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
we can really kind of unpack those.
Yeah, let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Explore those in more detail and really look at how Zara is adapting and innovating to stay ahead of the game.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're definitely not resting on their laurels, that's for sure.
Oh.
I mean, one of the things that makes Zara so fascinating is how willing they are to embrace new technologies and experiment with different approaches.
It's true. It's not just about, like, churning out trendy clothes.
Right.
It's about thinking about that entire shopping experience.
Yeah.
Both online and in store.
Mm-hmm.
One of our sources mentioned that they've been exploring, like, augmented reality.
Oh, yeah.
Which seems like a natural fit for a fashion brand.
Absolutely. They've already started rolling out AR fitting rooms in some stores.
Oh, wow.
And this allows you to virtually try on clothes without having to physically change.
That sounds like a game changer, especially for Gen Z,
Yeah.
who are so comfortable with technology.
Yeah, I think it's a really smart way to bridge the gap between the online and offline shopping experiences.
It makes it so seamless.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really ties into this broader trend of personalization,
Okay.
which Zara is really leaning into.
So when you say personalization, what exactly do you mean by that?
So it's more about using data and AI to create a shopping experience that feels really tailored to your individual preferences.
Okay.
So they're using AI to power their online recommendations, suggesting items based on your past purchases and browsing history.
So, like, if I buy a lot of floral dresses,
Yeah.
then the algorithm's going to be like, oh, she likes floral dresses.
Right.
Let's show her some more.
More floral dresses or like items that would complement that style.
Okay.
So it's about creating a sense of discovery, but also making sure that those discoveries are relevant to your tastes.
I like that.
Yeah.
And they're even experimenting with AI that analyzes current fashion trends.
No way.
Yes.
Okay.
And predicts what you might want to buy next,
Wow.
almost before you even know it yourself.
That's both impressive and a little bit creepy.
It is a little bit Big Brother-ish.
Yeah.
But,
But it makes sense.
it speaks to their commitment to staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Really using technology to enhance the shopping experience.
Yeah. I mean, they're really good at it.
They are.
But even with all of this innovation, they can't escape the shadow of sustainability, can they? You're right. No matter how tech-savvy they become, that fundamental question of the environmental impact of fast fashion still looms large.
It's so interesting because it seems like Gen Z is driving both of those demands. Like, they want fast fashion, but they also want sustainable practices.
They want it all.
It's like a paradox.
It is a little bit of a paradox.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge that Zara is acutely aware of.
Yeah.
they know they need to appeal to this generation's desire for both style and sustainability.
So how are they actually addressing that challenge?
Wow.
We talked about the Join Life collection earlier.
Right.
Are they doing anything beyond that?
Yeah. They've set some pretty ambitious targets,
Okay.
like aiming to be carbon neutral by 2040.
Wow.
They're also looking at ways to reduce water consumption and waste in their production processes.
So those are steps in the right direction,
Yeah.
but are they enough?
I mean, that's what a lot of the critics are saying, right? They're saying that these efforts are just a drop in the ocean.
Right.
Compared to the sheer volume of clothes that they produce.
I mean, it's a valid point.
It is.
The scale of their operations makes it really difficult
It does.
to achieve true sustainability.
Right. But it's important to remember that Zara isn't alone in this.
Right.
I mean, the entire fashion industry is grappling with this issue.
It's a systemic problem.
Yeah.
And it's going to require a major shift.
A major shift.
In how we produce and consume clothing.
Absolutely.
And speaking of consumption, one of our sources mentioned that Zara has launched a secondhand marketplace.
Oh, yeah.
Called Zara Pre-Owned.
Yes, Zara Pre-Owned.
What? I know.
Really? This is the first I'm hearing of this.
This is a really interesting development.
Okay.
It's a way for them to tap into this growing market for secondhand clothing.
Okay.
And promote a more circular economy.
I mean, it seems like a really smart move.
It does. Considering how much Gen Z cares about reducing their environmental impact.
Yeah.
But does it contradict their fast fashion model?
I mean, there's definitely some tension there.
Yeah.
But it could also be seen as a way for them to evolve their model and become more sustainable without completely abandoning what they're known for.
Right.
So it's sort of like a way to dip their toes in the water of sustainability.
I like it.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how that develops.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the competition for a second.
Okay.
How is Zara differentiating itself from those ultra-fast fashion brands like Shein?
Right.
Which are even cheaper and faster.
Yeah, so they're really focusing on quality,
a
more premium brand experience, and stronger sustainability initiatives.
Okay.
So they're trying to position themselves as like a slightly more elevated option within the fast fashion world.
It's almost like they're moving away from fast fashion and more toward something like affordable luxury.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, they're still all about trends and accessibility.
Yeah.
But they're also emphasizing quality.
Right.
And a more curated shopping experience.
And they have the benefit of having that strong brand legacy.
They do.
That Shein doesn't have.
Right.
You know, Zara's been around for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And they've really cultivated a reputation for style and trend setting.
Yes, they have.
Which is really valuable.
Very valuable.
It allows them to charge a little bit more and attract those customers who are looking for something beyond just like the rock bottom prices.
Right, exactly.
So it's kind of a multi-pronged strategy.
It is.
Right?
Yes.
They're leveraging technology.
Yes.
They're embracing some aspects of sustainability, and they're really emphasizing quality and brand heritage.
And they're doing it all at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is quite a feat.
It's impressive.
It is.
And speaking of a new generation, we can't talk about Zara's future without mentioning the leadership change.
Right.
Marta Ortega,
yes,
the founder's daughter, took over as chairwoman in 2022.
That's right.
I'm so curious to know what kind of impact she's having on the brand.
I mean, it's still early days.
Yeah.
But I think she's already making her mark.
Okay.
I mean, she represents a new generation of leadership.
Yeah.
One that's even more attuned to the digital world.
Okay.
And the values of Gen Z.
And she's been pretty vocal about Zara's commitment to sustainability.
Yeah, she has.
Which seems to really align with her generation's priorities.
Yes, definitely.
So it seems like she's walking a tightrope.
Yeah.
Trying to balance those demands of fast fashion with this need for more responsible practices.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
It is a challenge.
That will definitely define her tenure as chairwoman.
It's a fascinating time for Zara.
It is.
They're navigating such a complex landscape of, competing priorities and just this rapid technological advancement.
Right.
But they've also shown this incredible ability to adapt and innovate.
And let's not forget their global reach.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I mean, they've managed to successfully expand into markets all over the world.
It's true.
Adapting their designs and offerings to different cultures and tastes.
That global mindset is so essential
It is.
for any brand that wants to thrive in the 21st century.
Absolutely.
It's about understanding different consumer preferences, embracing diversity, being sensitive to cultural nuances.
Absolutely.
And it's a testament to Zara's ability to balance its core identity with this need to localize and tailor its approach to different regions.
Yes, very much so.
So what does the future hold for Zara?
Yeah.
Will they be able to maintain their dominance in this fast fashion world,
Right,
while also becoming a more sustainable and ethical brand? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is a big question. And it's one that I think Zara is very actively trying to answer, through all of these actions and initiatives that they're taking.
And it is a tough balancing act.
It is.
To kind of, do all these things.
For sure.
But one thing I've noticed about Zara is that they really aren't afraid to experiment and push boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, they've already kind of dipped their toes into virtual fashion and augmented reality, like we talked about.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be surprising to see them exploring even more immersive experiences, like metaverse storefronts in the future.
Metaverse storefronts.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine that?
It's pretty wild.
Shopping for digital clothes for your avatar
I know.
in a virtual Zara store?
It sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It does.
But the lines between the physical and digital worlds are blurring more and more each day.
They really are.
And for a brand that's always been about staying ahead of the curve, it makes sense for them to at least explore those possibilities.
It would definitely appeal to Gen Z.
For sure.
Who are already spending so much time.
So much time.
In online gaming and virtual worlds.
Yeah, and it's not just about chasing those latest tech trends either.
Right.
Zara is also investing a lot in personalized fashion.
Personalized fashion.
Yeah, like using data and AI to create custom designs based on individual preferences.
So could you just walk me through that a little bit?
Yeah, so imagine, you input your style preferences, your measurements, maybe even some inspiration images. And then Zara's AI generates a unique design just for you.
It's like having your own personal stylist.
Yes.
And tailor.
At your fingertips.
I mean, that would be the ultimate form of self-expression through fashion.
It would, and it aligns with that, growing consumer demand. For unique, one-of-a-kind pieces.
Yeah, nobody wants to show up to a party wearing the same thing as someone else.
And it's a move away from mass production towards more individualized, on-demand clothing creation.
So it sounds like a win-win.
Yeah.
Consumers get those clothes that are perfectly tailored to their tastes. And Zara gets to reduce waste and overproduction.
Exactly. It's a much more sustainable approach to fashion.
Yeah.
And I think it has the potential to really revolutionize the industry as a whole.
I'm here for it.
Me too.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot with Zara.
We have.
They're dealing with competition from ultra-fast fashion brands.
Yes.
They're trying to address sustainability concerns, and they're experimenting with all this cutting-edge technology.
You're doing it all.
It's a lot to juggle.
It is.
But, as we've seen throughout our entire deep dive today, Zara has this proven track record.
Yes.
Of adapting and innovating.
Absolutely.
They're constantly analyzing data, monitoring trends, and adjusting their strategies.
Yes, and I think their success is a testament to that.
Yeah.
I mean, they understand their target audience, they're willing to embrace new technologies, and they're really good at staying one step ahead of the trends.
It's so impressive.
It is.
But ultimately, their legacy, I think, is going to depend on their ability to balance those commercial instincts with a genuine commitment to ethical and sustainable practices.
I completely agree.
And I think that's a really key takeaway.
It is.
From our deep dive today.
Yeah.
Zara's story is a microcosm.
It is.
Of the fashion industry as a whole.
Yeah.
Grappling with the need to balance creativity, affordability, and responsibility.
Yeah.
And the story's still being written.
It is.
And it's going to be fascinating to see how Zara continues to evolve in the years to come.
Absolutely.
I think they're going to do some really interesting things.
I think so too.
Their journey is a reminder that even the most successful brands need to constantly adapt and reinvent themselves to stay relevant and meet the changing demands of consumers and the world around them.
Very well said.
Well, we've covered just about everything in our deep dive on Zara today.
I think so.
We explored their history, their business model, their challenges, and their future prospects.
Yes.
What stands out to you as the most important takeaway for our listeners?
I think it's this idea that Zara is a bit of a paradox.
A paradox.
Yeah, they're a fast fashion giant that's trying to embrace sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
They're a data-driven company that still relies heavily on human creativity.
Yeah.
And they're a global brand that's constantly adapting to local nuances.
Right.
And it's that constant tension and evolution that I think makes them so fascinating to study.
Very well said. And as for you, dear listener, we hope this deep dive has given you a deeper understanding of Zara's impact on the fashion industry and the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for this really iconic brand.
Yeah.
We encourage you to continue exploring these topics and form your own conclusions about the future of fashion.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.